My name is Wade, and welcome to Recovery 101.
Hey everybody, I want to introduce you today to my best friend, my workmate, Mr. Cooter. Cooter is a 9-year-old purebred chocolate Labrador retriever. He spent most of his years working full-time as a therapy dog, and now he's kind of in a semi-retirement spot. He kind of backs me up. So, hey, today we're going to talk about breath work. We're going to talk about meditation. Specifically, we're going to talk about the 4-7-8 breath. The 4-7-8 breath is a means by which that we can shut off what's called the sympathetic nerve. Sympathetic nerve is a part of the ventral vagal system, which is a part of the central nervous system. So rather than go into a ton of detail right now on the biology and neurology and mechanisms, what we're going to do today is go through a kind of an instructional video on how to actually do the 4-7-8 breath so that when you start to feel overwhelmed, paralyzed with anxiety, that you've got some kind of a technique that you're going to be able to move that. This particular breathing technique, I would probably say, saved my life and probably the lives of many others. One of the things that I want to start off with is just the concept or idea that your state of arousal is very much dependent upon respirations per minute. And if we knew exactly how that worked and those mechanisms, we could manipulate then our breathing, which then manipulates our state of arousal. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 4-7-8 breath. I'm going to kind of take you through it step by step and illustrate kind of what we're talking about so that you can come back to this video in the future and kind of use it as a reference material. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start with doing some diaphragmatic breathing. So it's just a fancy word for belly breathing, and that's kind of why we've got this arranged today, because I want you to see kind of the posture that I use doing the 4-7-8 breath, as well as all of the movements. So what we're going to start with first is how to breathe diaphragmatically. And what I would suggest is putting your hand on your belly, and we're going to breathe in through the nose. And when we do that, the hand should start to protrude outward. So we'll do one breath. You can see that when I breathe in, my belly expands and extends first, then my chest. We'll do that one more time. Doing it again. What's crazy about that kind of breathing, I can already feel myself just a little bit lightheaded, which is normal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the 4-7-8 breath, and it's exactly as it's described. It's an inhalation of 4, holding for a count of 7, and then exhaling for a count of 8. So it looks something like this. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 rounds of the 4-7-8 breath, and you can either follow along or observe, because we're going to practice together here in just a moment. So again, breathing in through the nose, filling the diaphragm first of all. And out pressured. And then in through the nose. So I'm going to time out right here, because what you saw me do is kind of mimicking a deflating balloon. I do that in the exhale. Now, that wasn't something that the originator of the 4-7-8 breath came up with. It's just something that naturally started to happen for me as I would do more and more rounds of the 4-7-8. And I found it to be very soothing, very relaxing. And it seemed like it had a really nice cadence. So again, I'm going to pick up on where I left off. We're going to go ahead and do 3 rounds of the 4-7-8, and I will be doing the deflating balloon. So it looks something like this. Okay, that's 3 rounds. Now, what you should expect to feel at that point as a new beginner is most likely lightheadedness. It's normal. But as you continue to do this practice over time, that lightheadedness should subside. But what you should feel is a shift in your body. So why are we using the 4-7-8 breath? We can get triggered. Sight, smell, taste, touch, or sound. Something happens in the environment that the amygdala recognizes as a potential threat, maybe something environmentally that you see or that your brain sees, and all of a sudden, bam, you're in this somatic response, this body response. Increased heart rate, respiration, feelings like you could cry. That's a somatic response. And what I'm trying to equip you with today is something that empowers you, because there's nothing more debilitating and overwhelming than to be impacted by something, especially something that you don't know where it came from, and you are feeling powerless. Having the 4-7-8 in your toolbox is going to give you the ability to regulate your emotion and to shut off some of these signals. Now, with anything, the more that you do it, the better you get. And my recommendation to you is going to be to do the 4-7-8 breath at least 3 times throughout the day, especially in the beginning stages of treatment, because what your body is used to is responding to stimuli in its environment without any interruption, and then it going through its natural course. So at times people can be triggered, and that somatic response, or that body response, can last several minutes, several hours, even several days. So having something like this in your toolbox is very powerful. So again, doing this 3 times a day at minimum is what I'm going to recommend. Now, the reason being is because of neuroplasticity. What we're trying to do is establish new networks and new pathways in the brain. The more that we do it, the more growth that we're going to see in the brain, and that helps us to better do this type of breathing going forward.